Hello.
Hi.
So I thought we should start by talking about a bit about ourselves, just so it doesn't have to be like a long life story, but a bit of a background to like how we got into this kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's a good one to talk about.
I'll let you start.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, we work for a company called HARPY, and we work in the film industry. I guess we predominantly fly drones, but we shoot on the ground. I'm one of about, I don't know how many people there is, 6 or 7 or 8 people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I shoot on the ground. I'm a bit of a DP, and I'm a drone pilot. I'm known in the industry more as a drone pilot than anything else. And I started HARPY about 5 years ago. I think next year will be the 6th year. I've been in the industry working for close to maybe 10 and a bit years. And I have a film background in a sense. I worked for my dad, who also works in the company, and he's a photographer, and I worked for him. And then I have I have 2 brothers, but only one of my brothers works with us. His name's Juzzy, and I'm sure you'll see him at some stage. He's like an amazing cinematographer and director, and yeah, he's got some brilliant, great ideas. But yeah, that's enough about me. And yeah, Harry kind of came on board, and I'll let you tell that story like in a brief way.
So, well, I basically just got into FPV like 4 years ago, because me and my brother saw like some FPV videos for the first time on YouTube, and we were just like, we have to do it, because it just looks so awesome. And then anyway, 4 years later, like I was doing a lot of just flying FPV for fun, like with a lot of my friends, and then I'd been following the HARPY guys for ages, because I'd just been seeing their work and stuff, like, and I was really interested in all the drone stuff they were doing. And anyway, one day I'm like on Instagram, and I saw them like doing FPV stuff, so I was like, oh, this is sick, like, and I just sent them a message, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Anyway, we got into a conversation, and sure enough, Radar invited me down to the studio, and then we actually had a FPV race.
Yeah, I think we're going through this stage, which we'll get back into, but everyone at the studio started flying like cine whoops, like little micro whoops. And we started making little tracks around the studio, and we have like a cool studio space that is set up where we have a big back roller door and a front door, and then it opens out into like a bit of a back car park, and anyway, you get the idea. And we started doing races where we're going like inside and outside, and we just started having a couple of nights where, like, you know, we'd just get some friends around who are also in the film industry, and then we'd have some little cine whoop micro races. And then yeah, Harry hit us up on Instagram. He was like really keen as an FPV pilot. He thought what we were doing looked like a heap of fun, and I just said, hey man, come down, you know, next Saturday or whatever it was. And yeah, we never met before, and all of a sudden he's like on the doorstep with his micro whoop, you know, racing us, and he was like kicking everybody's ass. And then, yeah.
Damn right I was.
And then the relationship just kind of started from there. And then as we've been growing, we needed more pilots, and we were already, you know, in connection with Harrison, and we asked him to come on board, and here he is, and here we are.
Yeah, it's been so awesome, like, because I've just been you know, learning so much beyond like drones, which I'm actually like, which I really appreciate as well. So it's
yeah,
been really cool.
You've had interesting cameras and everything else, not just the whole like, in seeing Harry and seeing his ability not just to like pilot an FPV or a normal drone, he also had a keen eye, and I could see on his Instagram feed that he could take a pretty decent photo, and you know, and you could just see
a decent photo.
Yeah, you could just see on your newsfeed though that you were like really, like, you were inspired to want to do more about photography, and
I do like creating
film
stuff,
and that kind of, you know, way of being creative, as a lot more people are these days with these kind of platforms. But I just saw he had a really big potential, and I was like pretty interested, and I thought he was definitely, after seeing him kick everybody's ass in
the race,
in micro whoops, I was like, yeah, he's definitely the right person for the Harpy team. So yeah, I guess not everyone can join the Harpy team. It's just like we really try to like pick the best person for the job, and we look for certain characteristics, and it's not just if you can fly drones really well, it's also about being an awesome human. So yeah, that's why Harry's here. And
yeah, it's been interesting as well, because like there's so many aspects of the job that I've learned about that I think, unless you actually work in the industry, you just don't think about it. Like there's just so many things, like, you know, getting up early and prepping gear, and then the long drives, and then
the long hours.
And
we did it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I haven't even calculated it yet, but I wrote our times down for yesterday. But when we're at Cape Schanck, you know, we were only supposed to stay for X amount of hours, but the weather was good, and we still didn't have all of the shots that we needed, and so there's a lot of overtime and things in this industry, and I could definitely see Harry was getting like really tired, and you know, and when people get like that, they get a bit grumpy. You'll meet Josh soon, I'm sure, at some stage, and when he gets tired and grumpy, he's real grumpy. But we understand that, and we kind of see it, and we kind of just try to do the best we can. And I guess a lot of that's helped with like making sure we've got proper food and our bellies are full, and
yeah,
that we're happy, you know, even if it's a chocolate bar or something. But yesterday we were kind of like a bit unprepared, and it wasn't like a proper shoot where we had catering and all
sunscreen,
all of the things. And sunscreen. So we ran out of water at one point.
Oh yeah,
and that was really like, yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. But we were fixed by a 7-Eleven, which we're literally about to pass right now.
Is that the same?
Nah, it's a different one.
I could go for a Slurpee.
Yeah. So that's why we want to have this like selfie stick cam. So like when we do, well, if we're in the middle of like, you know, talking to camera and stuff, and we pull over to get fuel or Slurpees or whatever it is that we do, we can jump inside the store and keep talking, and maybe something funny will happen. But yeah, I guess that's like a good insight on who we are and what we do. And
yeah, and like if you're watching, like ask as many questions as you want in the comments or wherever. Send us a message.
Yeah, we did have an idea of maybe like doing something kind of live or something where this can be going out live somehow.
Yeah.
And then people can like text in and ask questions and chat.
Yeah, if they're up at like 4 AM.
Yeah, well, it's not that now, but yeah, who knows? We'll get this episode going where it's like 4 AM, where everyone's tired, and it might just turn us into different people, I think, if we have to actually talk about stuff because we're on camera.
Alright, well, so what's happened a few days ago is we actually were on a job which is called, it's a cycling event called Dirty Warrny, and it's the first year that they've run it, and it was actually really successful. Like there was heaps of entries, but our job was basically to just film the whole event, to get some promotional material, and also like you know, film all the, I guess, highlight and like exciting moments.
Yeah, I guess they'll just like take all of the content that we shot and like catalog it for, you know, next year's advertising. Although we did shoot some like specific advertising before the event where we took cyclists out and we had control of the cyclists to some degree in order to shoot what we needed to shoot. Whereas shooting the actual live event, there was 347. Yeah, 340. Let's say 350 contestants or entries, and they started. It's a 247 kilometer race,
because I didn't realize how big that actually is until I realized, like, the triathlon distance for riding is only 100 and, I mean, it's still a lot, but only 180 or 190 kilometers or something. So it's like more, and probably more of an incline. So it was like messed up.
But it's not just like cycling, like what you think like on the road where you see guys in like spandex and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's
on
like
beach road. This is like
nitty-gritty
the whole
roads,
reason
yeah.
that it's like called Dirty Warrny is because it's
Oh, camera.
GoPro. We're gonna have to talk to you about that.
So
We lost the camera, guys.
It's too hot.
Send a camera. So yeah, the reason it's called Dirty Warrny is because it's actually a gravel race. So it's like, it's road bikes, but they have a little bit different equipment on there with different tires and things, but it's literally like a road cycling bike, but then you set it up to actually ride on gravel, so like, you know, dirt roads. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I actually learnt a bit about, you know, just filming everybody and seeing what they go through to actually achieve what they did. And there was even like a over 60s category where like there was some like grandmas that did like actually yeah, man, there was
what,
grandmas.
fit grandmas as
Yeah,
well,
very
like,
fit grandmas
holy.
over 60 that actually completed the race. I think some of those, I don't know if it was the grandmas, but some of the people actually
all our
lost
cameras
the
are too
second GoPro. We need to crank the aircon.
high. Oh yeah, so far. Like...
And yeah, so the Dirty Warrny stuff, yeah, it's on gravel. It was like a really early start, and it was in Geelong, so it's like an hour and a half from our studio. So we travelled up there the night before, and then we stayed in a hotel, which was the Novotel. Thanks, Novotel.
Sponsor.
And yeah, sponsor us. And then yeah, we had to get up like super early, like 3:30 a.m. and the race started at 5:30, but we had to like, we had a 20-minute drive, and we had to like prep gear and get it all sorted and get it done. So the first main part of the day was like, we had some tracking vehicles going. Juzzy was in the lead car, which couldn't stop, so that was like posed with its own problems and own...
Yeah, because the lead car, the cyclist, like the lead car sort of takes the cyclist and leads the way, so that it has to constantly be going, which made it difficult. But as well, we should probably tell like what cameras we use. Like,
Oh, okay, so we were using, we had all Blackmagic cameras. We had like Pocket 6Ks and an Ursa G2.
which was on a vehicle.
Yeah, so the Ursa we used as a ground camera, like shoulder rig, tripod stuff, and then we had a Pocket 6K, which was on a Killshock isolator in a Movi Pro, and then we operate that from within inside the vehicle, so we got pan and tilt.
Yeah.
And so we were tracking cyclists that way.
Yeah, it's just on the roof of the car.
What makes it difficult is the roads are quite narrow, and if there's cyclists ahead of us or behind us, we can't stop. So there's no room to pull over or let them go past. So you just have to like get to a point where the road becomes wide enough to be able to do that, and then we can pull over. And when you think they don't travel really quick, they actually travel quite fast. So sometimes we try to get ahead and we have to like, you know, fix an issue or change batteries or something that we have to do with the equipment. And we think we get ahead far enough where we're like got a few minutes to jump out and attend and fix things. And then before you know it, there's like the cyclists are back up on our butt again, like, and we're like, holy shit, they're here already.
Yeah.
Like, shit, we gotta go. So it's quite like a rush. I really enjoy that style of shooting. There's a bit of adrenaline that kind of comes with it, and it makes it quite exciting, and it just makes it a bit different to what we're used to sometimes. So I really enjoy like the live stream kind of thing.
And then I was like in a different vehicle, and I was using the DJI Mavic Air 2S. So I was just shooting.
You were shooting
drone
stills
stuff
as
at
well.
the event. Yeah, and shooting stills
Yeah.
with my own camera, and currently I've actually recently got a Fuji X-T3, which I love so much. And yeah, I just shot some photos on that. Did some drone shots, which is cool. Like, we were doing some shots, and I was like sitting in the car, and like we had the drone like flying and following some like cyclists in front of me, and I'm just like sitting in the car, like getting real low, trying to get some cool, like almost basically getting.
And when Harry says he's sitting in the car doing some drone, we're actually traveling in that vehicle as well, so that we can keep close to the drone.
Yeah.
But that in itself requires a little bit of skill, and like it's not something that you can just put a pilot in that situation for the first time and go, all right, we've just got to track contract this guy. So we do a lot of training, and we take the pilots out to kind of like learn and do these things, and we choose.
We take drones very seriously.
We choose particular jobs to like put a certain pilot on where we know that they have that skill set and that they're going to nail it 100%. So, and Harry did on this one.
Yeah, it was good. And I've also started ever since I went on a Europe trip recently, which I'll talk about another time. But ever since coming back to that, I've become more confident with like hand catching the Mavic, because I never used to do it. But it's like so easy and like and also efficient, and that's been really handy as well. So yeah, but no, so that's like the gear we use for the event. But the main thing is that I think is worth mentioning is like it was just crazy how tough it was, because we got up at like
3 o'clock, like 3:15.
Yeah, and
AM.
Because the race started at 4:30, was it?
5:30.
5:30.
They
we got up
pedaled
at
off.
3:30 to like, you know, get dressed and then like set all the gear up, and then at 5:30 the race started, and then we didn't finish till like 8 something, or 7.
Yeah, it was pretty late. We were supposed to stay down at Warrnambool where it ended, which is quite some time away from Melbourne. So I think it's about 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that was a tough drive
but
back.
Because we, you know, I have children and we have, you know, families to attend to and bits and pieces. I actually had to get back for some family things that I needed to do the next day. So everybody kind of like opted to just go, oh, let's just go home. Yeah. We were too tired to like, you know, go to the pub and have a beer, which we usually like to do if that's a possibility. But yeah, we just ended up traveling home, and everyone like didn't speak the whole way. Everyone was just like tired, and we take it in turns so that everyone can drive.
I think like,
oh, this is why we need it's like an Elmo helmet thing. This is why we need the camera out the front.
There's an Elmo. There's a guy on a motorcycle with an Elmo thing on it, like,
on his helmet. Yeah. So his whole head is like Elmo, basically. We're gonna get this camera. We do own lots of GoPros, so there's no excuse why we can't have another one on the outside.
It was a cool event, and then I think my eyes were like aching afterwards. I think just from being open for so long, I was like struggling. But no, we got some sick shots. Like, I'm so excited to see the edits they do with it.
Yeah, so we're also pretty tired today because we did Dirty Warrny, and we've just been shooting a fair bit, and we backed it up with these last 2 days with Dorian shooting the art installation stuff where we had to hike a lot. Today we had to hike, which wasn't too bad, finishing up on the whole shoot. It was only like a 10-minute hike in, but we did have to push like, you know, a camera cart and carry drones and batteries, and if you know anything about the heavy lift drones, the batteries weigh an absolute ton.
Yeah, it's like it's probably like 30 kilos or something.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. I've done some hikes in the past where I was a lot more fit, and you know, carrying 25 up to 30 kilos on your back of drone equipment and camera gear, and it gets pretty taxing if you're hiking, you know, up a mountain or down a mountain. We're talking like hikes that maybe go for like an hour and 30. So these are pretty hectic hikes, and they're through bushland and stuff. I mean, we get to see amazing places, and I love it. And I don't exercise much, so I kind of like, if I'm getting frustrated with like, you know, how hard the hike's getting, I kind of just like tell myself like, nah, this is exercise, and just, you know, you need to work out more. So I just look at it like that, and it makes me feel a bit better.
Those gains. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of like, it's going to be early, we're going to be tired, like you guys are going to see like the raw stuff of just how it is, and like what we're thinking at the time and place, like which I think is better. Like I don't know, it should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be heaps of fun. I think this is why we were like really excited to do this, because I haven't seen a podcast that's like in the car traveling like this.
I mean, let alone about film, like on this, in this sort of context. And like, I just think there's so much that I feel like I've learned that I want to talk about as well. And there's so much that you like, and all the other guys.
Yeah, I think even
No,
like
and-
I've had like way more experience than you. Like,
Yeah,
I'm still
100%.
learning every day.
Yeah, 100%.
You never stop learning in this industry. It's like
Yeah.
there's so much to learn, and the technology is always changing, and there's new products all the time, and you know, we want to keep up to date with the latest and greatest bits and pieces. So we've got lots to talk about, I feel.
Yeah, like I think we just want to share how, you know, how it really is in this industry.
Yeah, and we just want it to be a bit raw and just share with you guys what it is that we actually do and go through day to day. And I think it's interesting to some people. Like, not everybody works in this field, and it's quite a small community, especially in Australia.
I reckon we'll go now. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We're the Harpy Boys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Ciao.